I thought I'd choose a new angle for my videos. What do you think? So I'm just going to talk about yesterday. The reason I'm here, I'm on the sofa lying on a coat. Yesterday was a long and tiring day in the end, and it ended up in a bit of a party. But let's start with let's start at the beginning. So I was invited by my lovely friend Sue, who works for Lush. She invited me along to have a treatment. So Lush in Oxford Street just launched they've just launched a new treatment, and it's called the Renaissance, and it's kind of like a massage. It's kind of like energy work where you kind of like get pressure applied. There was a hot stone massage on my legs and feet. There was all different sorts of music playing. So some of it was very energetic, some of it was very meditative and calming. And so there's different stages of the treatment, which altogether lasted about 40 minutes. But so that was the treatment. It was really, really nice, really relaxing. And that happened in Lush in Oxford Street. So that's the treatment that you can book. And I think it's available different Lush stores. So you need to check if there's a store near you, or if there is one near you that does do that treatment. But I do recommend it. It was really nice. Itchy face. So that was one of the aspects of yesterday. But the other thing is that Lush have also launched their Florence exclusive. So initially in Florence there were some perfumes that were only available in the Florence perfume library. So they've got a Lush shop that literally just sells perfume and perfume books. Now they've now launched those perfumes in Lush Oxford Street, and I'm going to try and remember which ones they are. So I'm going to tell you about my favourites actually, because that might be easier. So one that's really interesting is called Confetti, and the perfumer Emma, she based it on kind of like an Italian wedding. So they've all got the Italian Florence theme, and this is kind of like a traditional Italian wedding. And so there is a note of there's coffee, but really it's more about this kind of sugared almond smell, and it's really nice. But there's this slightly green note in there that I'm not quite sure about. But it's if you like a gourmand, it's one to check out. It definitely feels a bit gourmand, a little bit almondy, really interesting, quite a complex fragrance. The other one I really like is called Frangipani. That was my favourite. And I forgot to mention, when you have the treatment, you pick out your favourite scents, and you build those into the treatment. So you will get to smell different aspects of the perfume as you are as the treatment goes on. So it's a very sensory treatment. So you have the smell and the touch and the music as well. So back to the perfumes. Frangipani is kind of like a floral marzipan with quite a musky dry down. So I really like that. The opening is pure marzipan, and then it quite quickly changes, and that was really nice. There's one called Nero, which is really lovely. It's called Nero because it's based on neroli, and it's actually quite a long-lasting citrus neroli fragrance, a little bit more interesting than just that. And the other one that I really like is called Sappho, which I think was the one with lots of iris in it and some jasmine. Quite a musky one again, musky, woody, quite a kind of calming, grounding fragrance. I can't remember them all because it was all a little bit overwhelming, but the Florence exclusives are definitely worth checking out. Really, really interesting. But if you do go check them out, then make sure you try them on your skin and make sure you give them time, because they really, really change. So from start to finish, the opening notes almost rarely match anything like what you're left with in the dry down. So do check them out, but make sure you try them on skin because they're quite interesting. But they're really nice. They're not too weird like some of the Lush perfumes. Some of the Lush perfumes can be quite weird. These ones are not too weird. They're definitely complex and interesting. So I'm going to show you some footage of Lush and the perfume library.
around them in the same way as ape. Say hello, Cole. Yeah. So Cole, like fragrances. Because if you think about them, this type of like so hot and dry, it's like it's decisive, it's bold, it's courageous, it's go-getting, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. Those are really negative qualities in this period. Women are to be allowing and generous and intuitive and calm.
And now I'm going to talk to you about what happened also yesterday. So before I went to Lush, I had some spare time and I met up with Brendan. So Brendan is a magician and he's based in London. And we've been chatting on Instagram because he's also into fragrances. So he's if you have a look at his Instagram, you'll see lots of his magic and also his YouTube channel. So I'm going to link both of those below. And so we met up and we sniffed a few fragrances and we actually had a really fantastic experience at Experimental Perfumes. So Brendan told me he'd been invited along to Experimental Perfumes to have a perfume made and sort of blog about it, and he asked if I could come along and we'll do it. So we did that before we went to Lush and it was really nice. I'm going to show you some footage of that now.
This is just going to be on music. They're not going to be getting my voice in this show.
I might in mine now.
Maybe it doesn't matter.
That's okay.
So we'll start with yours.
It's all good.
We're going to go with base of sandalwood. Label after for you. The next one's yours, so it's Amber Rose.
Lovely.
38 ml amber. And chocolate rose ruby.
Do you recommend sort of letting them sit for a
I
while?
would say let them sit at least for an hour or so.
Yeah. So not for days or weeks or...
Just an hour or so.
Yeah.
That way the perfume comes together quite nicely. I mean, they are ready to wear immediately, but you might just take a bit longer for the alcohol to then...
Yeah.
To evaporate.
And a massive thank you to Waseem at Experimental Perfumes, and he gave us both the bottle of perfume made up as we liked it. So you get to choose, there's 6 notes altogether, 2 top notes, 2 mid notes, 2 base notes, and you can choose one of each, or you could actually, like I did, only have 2. So I had a base note of amber and the mid note of the rose, and the rose is it's a rhubarb rose, quite a sweet rose, and so I skipped the top note altogether. Mine is all heart, all heart and base, no top note, but it's a beautiful fragrance. It's kind of fresh, but then with that deeper sweet ambery base that comes through later on. So I'm really happy with that. So thank you, Brendan and Experimental Perfumes, for that. Had a lovely time with Brendan. Brendan along to the Lush event, and he ended up doing bits of magic around the Lush store, and it was really great because I met some lovely YouTubers who I've only ever spoken to online. I saw Clemence, ooh la la, I saw Clemence CC, and she is wonderful in real life, absolutely a delight, so full of positivity and happiness, and I love her accent anyway. So I met Clemence. I saw my good friend Nafia. She is a illustrator, so she does amazing illustrations of perfume bottles, so I'm going to link her Instagram below as well as Clemence's channel. I also met up with Josephine off of Jus De Rose.
Hi everyone! Just met lovely Claire. Aww. We're at Lush and trying fragrances, and you just had an insane,
crazy treatment.
Spa treatment.
Yes.
Like on a whole other level.
And
right?
what have you bought?
A lot of stuff. I got a book called A Scented World, which you can get at Lush, but it's really heavy, so I'm not going to get it out of my bag. And I got 2 fragrances. One is called Rose Jam, and you also like, what was it?
Was it 1,000 Kisses Deep?
1,000 Kisses
Yes.
Deep, yeah. So
lovely.
We discovered that we had very similar tastes.
Yes. Thank you. And she is a stunner. She's really tall, and in real life she's even more beautiful than she looks on her YouTube videos. So I'm going to link Josephine's channel as well. Thomas from Ouch 110, you all know who Thomas is. He had a treatment as well, so I popped into Bloom, met him, and then we walked to back to Lush for him to have his treatment. So I only saw Thomas briefly because he was busy at work when I saw him in Bloom, but always lovely, always a pleasure to see Thomas. And then after that I went off with my lovely friend Sue, and we had an amazing dinner, Indian food. It was really lovely. And then I got the train home, and then I texted my friend Lindsay, and she met me in the pub, and it ended up a little bit messy. So yeah, Lindsay came back to my house, and I had to hoover up all the crisps, and I've still got shit to tidy up now because it was a little bit mental. But here we are now, no major hangover, slightly dehydrated, and I just had the most fantastic time. So that is it. Thank you for watching. Thank you for putting up with this bizarre angle, but I really can't be asked to set up and put makeup on and sit up straight. So that's what you've got, I'm afraid. Thanks for watching. I'll see you soon.